Chapter 5837. Chapter 5837, at the end of a story when the story is not in progress. Long Batian is also an extremely awesome character. A presence throughout. It's just that now he has been eliminated. There is no way. He has now gradually become clear about his position. Now, he can only be a witness. Yes, he knew very well that he had been kicked out and was not qualified to enter the game. It was okay before when I was playing against Long Fei. He was still at the card table. But from a moment he was defeated by Long Fei, he was no longer qualified to enter the game. Although he is still involved in it, he knows that these are just small fights now, and there are only two people who can really control the chessboard. One is the sea, and the other is Long Fei. Even Ing, like him now, is just a witness to the ending, powerless and unable to change it. It is precisely because of this that he is letting himself go now and wants to find a sense of presence in front of Mr. Big. But I didn't expect that Mr. Da was not conceited at all and actually confronted him for tact. However, at this time, Mr. Da's heart was also filled with waves. Fucked with the sea. Although this is beyond his understanding, he still has to care after all. After all, he is now very clear about his position. Although he is now among the four categories of the heavens, he has no sense of existence. The main reason is that both Long Fei and Dahai are too capable. He has no strength and can only stand aside. As for who is stronger, Long Fei or Dahai, he has no idea. But no matter who is stronger, none can compare to him. So at this moment, he was thinking about whether he should be soft to Long Batian. But at this moment, a voice suddenly appeared. Long Batian, listen what you're saying. Can you, Long Batian, do such a shameless thing? I, Long Chung, look down on you. Long Chung, who transformed into DXIN, said. But now, he has recovered himself. He entered the primitive world because of a bet between Dahai and Long Fei. Now that the Lord of Annihilation has been killed and all causes and effect have dissipated, he naturally no longer has to carry that identity. Long Batian looked at Long Chung, who had recovered himself, and his eyes were filled with anger. There is no way, as Long Fei's descendant, he has too many similarities with Long Fei. Little bastard, it's none of your business here. Don't cause trouble. Long Batian gritted his teeth and said. Now he feels annoyed when he sees anything related to Long Fei, especially when a young version of Long Fei stood in front of him. It made him so angry that he wanted to take action directly. But there is no way. It has fallen short. The ancient world has now returned to peace, and all the power of death has disappeared. Although it is not sure whether Long Fei or Dahai won, no matter which one of them it is, he has fallen down a level now. If he takes action against Long Chung now, many people will be dissatisfied. Of course, this is secondary. Now he has no absolute certainty that he can suppress him. Thinking of this, Long Batian felt even more unhappy. As soon as he thought of this, he directly turned his gaze to Mr. Da. Old guy, come on, tell me, who are you with? Who gave you the courage to be so arrogant in front of me? Long Batian said evilly, pick the persimmons that are soft. He had no choice but to dare to offend anyone related to Long Fei. Otherwise, there would be no good results. There was a hint of amusement in Mr. Da's eyes. He looked at the furious Long Batian and said softly, I also flew with Long Fei. Long Batian. At this moment, Long Batian felt like he was experiencing a large-scale social death scene. He originally wanted to find an outlet in Mr. Da, but he didn't expect to receive such an answer. I don't believe it. I know Long Fei. There is nothing worthy of mention except trash around him. Although you're also trash, it is obvious that you are worse than anyone I have ever seen. You are trash among trash. Long Fei doesn't raise idle people, so it's impossible for you to follow Long Fei. Long Batian said one after another. It seems that I want to find a reason to convince myself. Mr. Da didn't say anything, just looked at Long Batian. But the eyes can't deceive people. Those eyes are full of ridicule. Waste. This was said by Long Fei and Dahai, and also by you? Okay, I really didn't expect that I would be called useless by Long Fei and people outside the sea. I originally wanted to keep a low profile with you, but I didn't expect that you would end up pretending to be cool with me. In this case, I won't pretend anymore. Mr. Big said, waving casually. Boom! Suddenly, in front of everyone, the original world suddenly changed, as if an invisible screen enveloped the world. Long Batian was stunned. Damn it, I'm done. I met someone who was pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. Although he didn't know what this power was, how could he, who had carried the system and relied on it to become invincible, not know that this was digitizing the world? There is only one place in this world that can have such a method, and that is the place of origin. There is only one world that can digitize a whole world with a backhand, and that is the legendary gentleman in the original world. After getting this answer, Long Batian was embarrassed. The expression on his face also became extremely wonderful. Without it, his power is the power brought by the system. What a system is the power of countless data. But now he is actually showing off in front of a being who can control data, and even wants him to humble himself in front of him. Head, damn it, what did I do? For a moment, Long Batian felt quite speechless, thinking that he must have been in bad luck, and no matter what he did, there would be no good results. Come on, don't you want to kill me? Come and get one, and let me see. Mr. Big sneered. He was also holding back his anger now. Whether in front of Long Fei or in front of the sea, he was always submissive. Now that he had an opportunity to strike hard, he couldn't bear to let it go. Long Batian said nothing with a dark face. On the side, Long Qing's expression also became a little solemn. He also carried the power of the system, and even transformed because of the power of the system, and now he has become the only strong man who is not inferior to him. So he naturally knew how terrifying Mr. Da's methods were. But he didn't have much fear. After all, he heard the conversation between the two clearly. He is hanging out with Long Fei, so calling himself young master is not too much, right? When he thought of this, his mind became active. That old gentleman, please introduce yourself, my father Long Fei. Mr. Big frowned. Why are you talking about this now? Do you want to plead for Long Batian? After all, Long Cheng was also someone who had led Da Sang. He could already guess Mr. Da's thoughts just by looking at him and said quickly, Sir, don't get me wrong. I'm not begging for mercy. I'm just telling you my identity. If nothing else, you can call me young master, Long Cheng said with a slight smile in his eyes. Chapter 58:38. Chapter 58:38. Mr. Da was stunned and looked at Long Cheng in disbelief. Did he jump out just to show off in front of him? Little Lord? He said this as if he was Long Fei's lackey. No, he's not. He doesn't admit it. On the side, Long Batian's eyes were filled with anger. He naturally knew what Long Qing meant when he said this, just to make him feel disgusted. If Mr. Da really calls him young master, then this guy will definitely have to show off in front of him. When he thought of this, he couldn't help but say, Little bastard, you are more shameless than your father. You really think you've got me, right? Long Batian's eyes were red, feeling that the world was against him. Long Cheng didn't care. Long Batian, have you not seen your position clearly yet? Do you think you are still qualified to say such things now? Do you want to see who you are facing? I, Long Cheng, the son of Long Fei. Long Cheng was very proud, especially knowing that his father was on the same level as Long Batian's backer. The arrogance in his heart could not be suppressed. I have no choice. I have an invincible father. Is there anything I can do? If Long Fei knew what Long Cheng was thinking at this time, he would definitely throw him away with a big blow. Who gave birth to it? Why do you like to show off so much? Forget it. Just pretend to be cool. You have no strength, so you still use your own name to show off. Mr. Da was silent at this time, but he understood. This Long Cheng is a show-off. He may have the ability, but he can't suppress Long Batian. Now he just wants to use himself to give Long Batian a show of strength. But Mr. Big was not prepared to obey. Joke. After all, he is one of the 4 categories in the heavens. Logically speaking, he is on par with Long Fei and Ahai. But those two people are too perverted, and he has no sense of existence in front of them. But you can't really be a dog. Still, young master, I don't hashtag every time verification appears. Please do not use incognito mode. Do you want to save face? When he thought of this, he said, Shut up. Long Fei is Long Fei, and you are you. Besides, Long Fei and I are in a cooperative relationship, and I am not his lackey. Long Chung was stunned. This result was something he had never thought of. Are you so disrespectful? Didn't you agree to hang out with your father? Now what does this mean? Is he also a rebel? Old sir, you heard me clearly. I am Long Fei's son. Long Chung refused to give up and continued. Mr. Da ignored it and snorted. I know, you have the blood of Long Fei. But let me say it again. I have a cooperative relationship with him. I am not his lackey. Long Cheng's face gradually stiffened, not out of anger, but out of embarrassment. I originally wanted to use Mr. Da to show off, but I didn't expect it would be such a result. Ahem, old man, don't be angry, I'm just joking. As we all know, I, Long Chung, am today not only because of my parents, but also not because of my background. I am doing it step by step. Long Chung changed the subject and wanted to forcefully regain his respect. But before he finished speaking, he was directly interrupted by Long Batian. Step by step, I relied on the system provided by Dahai to achieve what I am today. The contempt in Long Batian's eyes was even greater. Originally, he was a little worried. If Mr. Da really dared to call Long Chung a young master, then he would not be able to lose face today. But after listening to Mr. Da's answer, he suddenly felt that the old man was kind-hearted and cute. Long Cheng's face darkened. Shut up. You were born countless generations earlier than my father. Tell me about you. You were a powerful figure in the world back then. You couldn't beat my father, and you couldn't us. Now, you can just show off in front of an old gentleman. What else do you have? Face speaks. Long Chung will naturally not stand guard. No, he can't pretend. Mr. Da interrupted. I don't care what he does in front of others, but if he shows off in front of me, I can crush him to death with one hand. Mr. Big said coldly. Long Batian's face was as gloomy as water. This is not saving any face at all. It is rubbing your own face on the ground. But soon, the gloom in his heart was swept away, and Mr. Da continued to say, the same goes for you. Your strength is also created by the system. If I want to, I can format your strength with just one thought. Without the system, you don't have the right to show off in front of me. At this moment, Long Batian looked at Long Chung, who looked as if he had eaten Coptis, and his heart suddenly felt happy. It's just embarrassing. It doesn't matter. There are still people with me. Long Chung also fell silent now. He felt that he couldn't accept these words. He really wanted to say something. Didn't you just follow my dad? Then we are our own people. It's hard for me to do this. Of course, Long Fei didn't know all this. Of course, if you knew it, you wouldn't care. At this time, he had followed the breath of the sea to the end of the endless void. For their level, it only takes a moment to cross the void, and the endless time and space are all under his thoughts. With one thought of eternity, they can transcend immortality, travel across time and space, and reach any point in this void. Of course, areas outside this original world are not included. After all, the original world is a core. Compared with this, any other world can be said to be just a small world, not on the same level and dimension. If they leave the original world, there will be no obstacles in other regions, and they will arrive in a matter of seconds. But that means nothing to Long Fei. After all, every time verification appears, please do not use incognito mode. Unexpectedly, the problems he is facing now are all in this core world. Dahai's figure was right in front, looking at a looming portal at the end of the void, his eyes solemn as never before. He came, said the sea softly. Who? Long Fei asked. He already had a guess in his mind, but he still couldn't believe it. The one who can make Dahai show such an expression must be someone outside the four categories of the heavens, and one who is qualified to occupy the first class. It's just that he expected that this kind of existence would not show up so easily. After all, he and Dahai also planned to hunt this existence in their plan. But now that he has appeared, doesn't this mean that their previous plan has been aborted? Who are you talking about? The one above the only. Dahai said. Long Fei was silent and thoughtful. Since Dahai said this, he would naturally not doubt it. Although he was a little surprised, Dahai would not deceive himself on such a matter. What should we do? If he appears, does that mean that your previous plan has gone bankrupt? Long Fei said. Dahai suddenly turned around and looked at Long Fei, with a flash of disgust in his eyes. Can you be a human being and start scheming against me before we even start? What do you mean by my plan? You know our plan. Dahai looked helpless and was very unhappy with Long Fei's reaction. How did he manage to remove himself so naturally? When would Long Fei, with his thick eyebrows and big eyes, be able to say such shameless words? Long Fei responded with a speechless look. Sure enough, the sea is the sea after all, and it always counts itself in the calculation. Don't talk nonsense. This has nothing to do with me. It's clearly your own plan. Don't forget, my parents are in a hostile relationship now. It's impossible for me to join forces with you. Long Fei vowed. Chapter 58:39. Chapter 58:39. It is impossible to admit. Dahai has been plotting against that existence for who knows how many years. He had only known about such an existence before. Dahai wanted to lure him in with just one word, but Long Fei refused. Dahai curled his lips as if he didn't expect Long Fei to say such shameless words, and immediately said, "You are so shameless. Do you think you can get out now? Don't forget, you are the cause of the disaster. It's useless even if you pull yourself out now. That person is not a fool. All he cares about is how to start the apocalypse tribulation. You will still not be spared by then." There was already a bit of anger in the sound of the sea. It seems that he is very unhappy being stabbed in the back by Long Fei now. Don't talk nonsense. Are you saying that I am the cause of calamity? Don't forget why we fought before. Now the theory of the 4 types of heavens has been self-defeated, so it is still uncertain who is the cause of calamity. Long Fei responded with a fighting spirit in his eyes, as if he wanted to have another showdown with Dahai. The sea fell silent without saying a word. After a moment, a flash of anger flashed. Okay, in that case, I don't care. He can't kill me anyway. Although I haven't reached that step, I've already stepped in with half a foot, and I can see my true self. I'll see how you die, Dahai said and walked away. In a blink of an eye, the figure of the sea disappeared. Snort! Long Fei followed closely behind and disappeared into a stream of light. But they didn't know that just after the 2 figures disappeared, the portal that disappeared at the end suddenly appeared again, and then a voice came from it. 2 little bastards, they still want to plot against me. An unknown space. The figures of Long Fei and Dahai stood opposite each other. Hashtag every time verification appears, please do not use incognito mode. BR, do you think you can deceive me? Dahai asked. Yes, the 2 of them were naturally acting before. After all, they have been working together for so long, and they can know what to do next without even looking at each other. Just a few clues. I never thought of lying to him. If he can believe this clumsy trick, I'm afraid you won't have to scheme for so long. Long Fei responded. He knew very well that from a moment the sea appeared in his life, he was probably doing it for the apocalypse. As for the apocalypse tribulation, the final source has now been determined, which is the existence outside this origin, the existence above the 4 categories of the heavens in the mouth of the sea. This kind of existence made Dahai unable to do anything about his calculations for so long. So how could he believe that the 2 of them had broken up just because of his words? Then what's the point of doing this? Dahai asked. He has been planning for eternity, but now he feels a little bit incomprehensible to Long Fei. It's very simple. I'm just not going to mess with you anymore. You have controlled my whole life, and now that I have finally risen, do you think I am still willing to be controlled by you? Long Fei said, and the aura escaped from his body. Dahai's expression changed. It has to be said that Long Fei's current strength is second only to him. Even if there's a gap, it won't be too big. In other words, Long Fei now has the qualifications to compete with him. See, you said you don't care. Do you think I'm not qualified to give up? It's just the apocalypse tribulation. If you can jump out, I can jump out too. If it doesn't work, I will just jump out with my wife and children and wait for the apocalypse tribulation. I'll come out after it's over. I will still be invincible by then. Long Fei said with a lazy look on his face, as if he didn't care about anything anymore. Crap, Long Fei, I misjudged you. I thought you were a real man and would definitely choose to fight to the end. I gave in just thinking about you. Dahai looked angry, and there was even murderous intent in his eyes. Long Fei still looked indifferent. There's no shame in surviving. If you force yourself to do things you know you can't change, that's nothing. That's self-humiliation. Besides, I don't think I'm giving in. Just because you can't do it doesn't mean I can't do it. I'm going to live in seclusion for an era, and when the next era of apocalypse comes out, I'll plan another era. When the time comes, I'll go and defeat the one you're talking about. As Long Fei spoke, his eyes gradually became sparkling. It was as if he was already imagining the scene he was talking about. Dahai's expression became even worse. Wasn't this a slap in the face? You think you can do things that I can't even do? Dahai scolded angrily. Of course. Long Fei will definitely do whatever I want to do. Long Fei continued with a cold look in his eyes. Okay, in that case, let me see you. You want to jump out with your people, but as long as I'm here, I won't let you succeed. After Dahai finished speaking, the world in front of him suddenly collapsed, and his figure also disappeared at this moment. Only Long Fei was left in the void again. Dahai, please don't take action against my people, otherwise everyone will really fall out. Long Fei whispered to himself, with a cold light shining in his eyes. Immediately, his figure flashed past, disappeared in the blink of an eye, and just after the two figures disappeared, a portal quietly appeared in the sky again. Hashtag every time verification appears, please do not use incognito mode. They pretended that they had murderous intentions, but they didn't start a fight. I don't believe it. I didn't realize that there were two brainless people in this reincarnation, and they acted like infernal affairs with me. It's childish. A voice slowly drifted down and then disappeared. At this moment, Long Fei's figure appeared in front of a portal flashing with green light. Come out and chat. Long Fei said softly. The next moment, a figure walked out of the portal. Another dragon flies. However, in order to distinguish Long Fei, this person wore a red robe, which was as alluring as blood. How about it? Is my power easy to use? Now you find that you're useless. Without my power, you can't even fight the Lord of Annihilation of Death, let alone fight the sea. By then, your women will be dead. If I die in front of you, why do you insist on giving me any strength? Red-robed Long Fei said, his eyes full of disdain, as if he looked down on Long Fei extremely. Long Fei's expression remained unchanged. When I fought with Dahai, I didn't use your power. To be honest, your power is just like that, just the icing on the cake. Tough talk. If you were really as relaxed as you said, you wouldn't be here. Red-robed Long Fei sneered, and there was a hint of sarcasm in his empty eyes. Stop talking nonsense. No matter how much you talk, it can't change the ending that you can't get out of. You can only show off when I lose myself. So, being tough is useless. Long Fei said, also not taking the other party seriously. Red-robed Long Fei's pupils shrank, hatred and anger intertwined. You bastard, what do you mean? Do you want to break the contract? Long Fei shook his head. It's not like breaking the contract. I just want to change the way. Chapter 5840. Chapter 5840. The red-robed Long Fei looked unkind and looked at Long Fei with doubt in his eyes. I don't believe a word of your words right now. You said that after you kill the Lord of Nirvana, I will go out and you go in. The two of us can come one day at a time. But now you want to change again. Who do you think I am? The red-robed Long Fei questioned Long Fei. His face was cold, as if he would fall out at any time. Don't you know who you are? You are just the cause of the calamity. If I hadn't been willing to accept the calamity, you wouldn't have existed at all. Long Fei said softly. Good. Long Fei already knew more. He had concealed this before, including the battle with Dahai or the communication with Mr. Big. Of course, it's not that Long Fei is afraid of causing their dissatisfaction, but that Long Fei is confident in suppressing everything. Even with this calamity, Long Fei has absolute confidence. The red-robed Long Fei's eyes suddenly turned scarlet, and he stared at Long Fei. You don't have to look at me with such hateful eyes. You don't dare to kill me. You exist because of me. If something happens to me, you won't stay in this world. But I'm still willing to give you a chance. Long Fei said, suddenly raising his head and looking at Hong Pao himself. I can enter this door and exchange your existence in this world. The red-robed Long Fei was stunned. He never expected that Long Fei would make such a decision. He thought Long Fei was going to expel him and fall into darkness forever. Unexpectedly, Long Fei gave a completely opposite answer. What do you mean? Haven't you been guarding against me? Why is this happening now? Red-robed Long Fei asked. Although he had always longed for this, but now that Long Fei actually said this answer, he felt that it was extremely unreal. Literally. But there are some things that require your cooperation. Long Fei said, describing the drama between himself and Dahai. Hashtag every time verification appears, please do not use incognito mode. Read it again. So, do you want to fake it? Just leave and ignore everything? But you have to know that I can't bear this apocalypse for you. Even after I go out, I will try my best to promote the apocalypse. Of course, maybe I can do this without having to do anything. After all, I am the cause of the disaster. Red-robed Long Fei said. Long Fei nodded. I know, so I won't stop you at this point. Just do whatever you want. But there is one thing. You are not allowed to touch my woman. Even if you are from the same origin as me, you only appeared because of me. But you can't do that either. Long Fei spoke righteously. He absolutely cannot accept others putting hats on him, even if it is another self. Don't worry, I'm not interested in women. I love destruction. Red-robed Long Fei said. But soon he asked again, but I still don't understand why you suddenly made such a decision. Tired, Long Fei responded. Red-robed Long Fei's expression froze. What is this? Are you even too lazy to be perfunctory? Don't be so surprised. I can obviously ignore you, but now I find a reason to deal with you. Just be satisfied. Long Fei said and walked forward step by step. Soon, he came to the red-robed Long Fei. As for what I am doing, you don't have to guess. Now you can go out. Long Fei was too lazy to explain and didn't want to waste more time. As soon as he finished speaking, he pushed and threw the red robe directly out. The next moment, he was the only one left in this space. Of course here it's top secret. No matter how big, neither the sea nor the one that is above all can come in. Because this is the world that belongs to Long Fei's body, exists in nothingness, and belongs only to Long Fei. I hope my guess is right. Although I don't know why this tribulation body appears, this door has the same aura as the door where the existence appeared. If my bet is right, I may be able to witness another world. A world of only one. Long Fei muttered to himself, and a look of joy gradually appeared in his eyes. He has been taking risks along the way, but this time it is a big gamble. If he loses the gamble, he will die and there will be no chance of recovery. But if the bet wins, then everything will change because of yourself. Even things that the sea cannot do will be created by your own hands. Yes, the reason why he went to great lengths to show off to that being twice was just to feign his shot. He never expected the other party to believe it. He just wanted to create an illusion and launch his plan at this moment. He just wanted to enter the door and see the world behind it. And this world is what he guessed was another existence, a world that existed above everything else. This is his way to break the situation. I hope you don't disappoint me. As Long Fei spoke, his eyes gradually became firm, and then his figure flashed, and he stepped into the portal. In a world of stars and rivers of indescribable beauty, Long Fei's figure gradually appeared. At this moment, Long Fei was a little stunned. Is this the world behind that door? It seems a little different from what I thought. Long Fei was a little depressed. He thought that such a world must be extremely dangerous, but now that he has come here, he feels hashtag every time verification appears. Please do not use incognito mode. I feel like I'm thinking too much. This was completely opposite to what he had imagined. Wherever there is any danger, it would not be an exaggeration to describe it as a fairyland on Earth. At this moment, Long Fei actually had some doubts and felt that he had guessed wrong. Ding! Congratulations to the players for coming to the real world. The system functions have been reshaped. At this moment, a long-lost voice suddenly appeared in his mind. Long Fei was stunned. The uneasiness in my heart became stronger and stronger. Wrong. It must be wrong. As soon as this thing appeared, Long Fei felt a sense of despair in his heart. With his strength, the system is completely useless, and there is no way it can help him anymore. But now the system has recovered. What does this mean? Either his own cultivation has disappeared and everything needs to be started again, or the level of existence in this world is too low, making the system feel that he is good again. Upon thinking of this, Long Fei quickly began to check himself. But after this glance, Long Fei became even more depressed. His cultivation is still there, and he is still invincible. System, did you make a mistake? My cultivation is still there. Are you sure your reinvention will work? Long Fei tried to ask. This scene was so weird that Long Fei felt that everything had become confusing again. However, the system did not respond at this time, and only a cold countdown appeared in Long Fei's sea of consciousness. This countdown is naturally the countdown to the time for system reconstruction. A full 24 hours. Long Fei forced himself to calm down. No matter why this scene happened, it was unusual, but it's useless to worry. All he can do now is wait. When the system recovers, there may be an answer by then. Chapter 58:41. Chapter 58:41. The day flies by. This day has been a bit torturous for Long Fei. Now everything is unclear. There are too many doubts floating in Long Fei's mind, making Long Fei unable to calm down at all. So Long Fei almost stared at the system countdown. There is only 1 minute left. It's so weird. I don't know what went wrong. Long Fei muttered to himself, and then silently counted the time in his heart beating faster as the system changed. In fact, this is no wonder Long Fei, from his perspective, his current experience also makes him feel horrible. You must know that at this time, one thing has affected the whole body. If there is the slightest mistake, not only will he die, but his woman, son, everything related to him, and even the world he experiences will be destroyed. The smoke disappeared and was annihilated under the catastrophe of the apocalypse. Even if he was unable to change, Long Fei didn't want to just be desolate in this world without any sense of participation. For a moment, Long Fei regretted a little and felt that he had made a wrong decision. I should have known better beforehand that I shouldn't have gone crazy. There might still be a chance to join forces with Dahai, but now it's no longer possible. Barbecue. Long Fei's heart became increasingly bitter. Ding, the system reconstruction is about to be successful. Countdown. 9-inch countdown. The sound of the system appeared again, and Long Fei became nervous. His eyes were fixed on the system panel. Finally, time cleared. Ding! Congratulations, players. The system remodeling has been completed. The current system is a self-derived version. The triggering reason is unknown. Players themselves will discover the name. True Invincible System. Long Fei was silent as he listened to the sound coming into his ears. Trigger unknown? Just a few words made Long Fei feel terrified. To put simply, the reason why the system can be reshaped today must be because of external conditions. But it just so happens that even the system itself doesn't know this condition. As for the name, Long Fei no longer cares. Hashtag every time verification appears, please do not use incognito mode. Or anyway, along the way, the system has been called all kinds of strange names. System, continue talking. What are the current system functions? What are the tasks? There was a bit of urgency in Long Fei's voice, and he was very concerned. Ding, don't worry. Although the system is being reshaped now, it is still analyzing the current world. The system voice responded. The sound is extremely familiar. It still has the same taste, the same recipe, and even the service intelligence of the system has not changed. For Long Fei, this may be the only place where he can still feel a little comfort. Ding, the system analysis is completed. The world the player is currently in is the real world. Long Fei frowned. Real world. System, does this mean that the world I experienced before was fake? Long Fei couldn't help but ask. What the system said is very interesting. The definition of true and false is no longer distinguishable in Long Fei's cognition. It seems that as the cultivation level increases, one jumps out of circle again and again. Looking back, It seems that the previous world is full of traces of manual operations. Whether it is the power of the system or the cultivation of civilization, it seems that when the world reaches its extreme, it will break the world. Well now, a real world appeared directly, and Long Fei couldn't help but have this idea. Ding! Players can make their own judgment. The system cannot answer any questions for players right now. Long Fei was silent, his expression stern. Really? Still the same dog. As before, I will blame myself for everything. As for answering my questions in advance, that's simply impossible. For a moment, some of the excitement that the system's recovery brought to Long Fei disappeared. It's okay not to have such a system. Ding! The purpose of this system reshaping is to help the host ascend to the true realm. There is only one mission: to see the true self. The system ignored Long Fei and continued to beep. Long Fei's eyes moved. True state. The realm after the only one. In other words, it is the one after the only one. Is the true self the one? Long Fei muttered to himself. Long Fei has no concept of this realm. This realm is completely unfamiliar. There is no such explanation in the known power system, because no one has ever reached this level. Even if Dahai is so awesome, he is still not close to the top. As for him, he is worse than the sea, so naturally he cannot perceive this realm. Therefore, Long Fei was happy when he heard this prompt from the system. I no longer dislike the old operation of the system. Since the goal is to help myself get there, does that mean that I can get there before the sea? Hiss! Long Fei couldn't help but take a breath, and became excited when he thought of this possibility. If one day I return to my true state and appear in front of the sea, I don't know what the expression of the sea will be. At the thought of this possibility, Long Fei felt his blood begin to boil. Oh shit, done. Apart from anything else, Dahai has manipulated him as a chess piece all his life. Even though it was him who brought him to where he is now step by step, Long Fei is still unhappy. But now he has not reached this state yet. If he can reach this state before him, the picture will be very beautiful. System, don't waste time, just talk about the mission. Long Fei couldn't wait. What mission? System voice hashtag every time verification appears. Please do not use incognito mode. Voice response. Long Fei. Long Fei was stunned. There is nothing to say. You think you are very humorous? Long Fei asked. He suspected that the system was intentional. He said before that there was only one mission: to see the true self. Now that he is denying it, why does he think he's a dragon? Ding. Does the player have some misunderstanding about the system? Haven't I already told you the mission? Meet the real me. The system responds. That's it? Where's the reward? Where's the clue? Just one sentence. How do I do it? Long Fei's face turned dark. Now he understands that he thought of some things too early. He originally had high expectations for the system, but now it seems that he was naive. He's still himself, and even more doggy than before. There used to be an explanation, but now I don't even bother to explain it. Ding. Do you have any misunderstandings about yourself? What do you think I can give you with your current realm and strength? Although I don't know how I was activated and evolved, but now I can tell you yes, that's all. The system explained. In other words, the purpose of your appearance is to tell me where this place is, and that's it? Long Fei's voice was a little depressed. I think this is enough. It's not like you don't know your current state. The power of the system is completely useless to you. It's incredible that it can evolve now and give you a little hint. There was some helplessness in the system's voice. Long Fei also fell silent. Frankly, there is nothing wrong with the system saying this now. After all, the existence of a system was no longer a help to him before. Even because of the robbery, the two almost parted ways. Then what are you doing now? Long Fei continued to ask. Chapter 5842. Chapter 5842. This is something Long Fei doesn't understand. The system itself also said that he is useless now and has no use in improving Long Fei's strength. Even any reward is meaningless to Long Fei. I don't know. Anyway, after entering this world, a kind of power was poured into the system data. It seemed that something changed and the system evolved. The system responded. In Long Fei's eyes, he must have thought of what he said when the system first woke up, that it was triggered by unknown reasons. Is it possible to find this kind of power? Long Fei asked. He perceived the crux of the problem and felt that this was an important factor. Maybe if I can figure out the reason for the reshaping of the system, I can find the possibility of breaking through to the real realm. It's possible, and it's certain that this world must be extremely weird. I analyzed this world before, and the only news I could get was a truth, and what this truth means may not just be the world itself, but may represent a kind of power. The system explained. Long Fei was slightly silent, but he still agreed with the system. After all he has experienced, he naturally refuses to accept that the world he once lived in is false. Therefore, my heart is naturally more inclined to the system's statement at this time. In other words, the most urgent task is to find a way to break the situation and find out what power makes the system upgrade again. With this in mind, Long Fei looked at the world in front of him. His face also became serious. Even after clarifying the logic, Long Fei still didn't know how to start. He knows nothing about this world. Moreover, this world was completely different from the world he had experienced before. Here he could not feel any fluctuations in aura, let alone living beings, not even spiritual energy. In addition, everything that comes into view here is extremely dreamy. There are vast expanses of flowing clouds hanging in the sky. There are low stars emitting starlight. There are countless high hashtag every time verification appears. Please do not use incognito mode. Mountains are like the backbone of the sky. All of this is extremely unbelievable. Even if I travel across countless worlds, I have never seen such a scene. What kind of world is this? What does truth mean? Long Fei muttered to himself. He felt that he had made an incredible choice, and there was an inexplicable feeling in his heart that he was close to the answer when he entered this portal. Moreover, he believed that all of this must be related to himself. After all, the other self that appeared due to the tribulation came out of here. Perhaps we can start from this aspect. The cause of the disaster must appear here. Long Fei thought. His eyes gradually became firm. The sky above the ancient world. The sea returns. But Dahai's face didn't look good at this time. Until now, he was still wondering what Long Fei meant. Will Long Fei fall out with him? Obviously not. But what Long Fei did before made Dahai a little confused. His actions were meaningless. If it weren't for the tacit understanding between the two, he wouldn't even know how to cooperate. What is Long Fei's intention? I don't believe it. He can't feel that existence. Dahai said thoughtfully. Although the realm of the sea was only a hair away from that, it was still half a step into it. Not a single fluctuation in the void could hide from his perception. Naturally, he knew that the conversation between him and Long Fei could not hide from that person. And he also cooperated very well, playing with Long Fei Biao. Of course, he also knew very well that he could not deceive the other party at all. His intuition told him that Long Fei must have his own plan. Otherwise, he would not do such a meaningless thing. No matter what, I have to make some preparations. It seems that I have to enter the next realm. Otherwise, this gap is really not enough. Dahai thought and suppressed his thoughts. But at this moment, his eyebrows moved. A figure appeared in front of him. It was Long Fei. Long Fei walked directly in front of the sea as if there was no one there, as if it was a fake show. Dahai, damn it. It's time to make a career. For a moment, Dahai was also a little confused. He looked at Long Fei's disappearing back with deep eyes. However, after thinking for a while, Dahai still followed Long Fei's footsteps. Soon, the two of them arrived at the prehistoric world. At this time, the deadlock here is still continuing. But unlike before, now is Mr. Big's highlight moment. Both Long Batian and Long Chung were directly digitized by Mr. Da, and their power was imprisoned. They didn't even have a chance to struggle in front of Mr. Da. Long Batian looked annoyed. This wave of blood loss. He wondered if he had been eliminated by history and crushed into dregs by the wheels of the times. It seemed that he was no longer in a position to show off, and anyone who came out could kill him. At this moment, all the strength in his body was restrained, and he could only lie down in front of Mr. Big. soft. It was also Mr. Da, who had no intention of humiliating him. Otherwise, he might not even be qualified to lie down. Gotta kneel. The only thing that made him feel relieved was that now Long Chung was not much better than him, lying opposite him. At this time, Long Chung felt hopeless. Hashtag every time verification appears, please do not use incognito mode. What did he do wrong? He just wanted to use Long Fei to show off. Was he wrong? Come on, come on. Do you really think anyone can jump in front of me? With all due respect, that means Long Fei and Hai are out of the system, otherwise they would have to lie down in front of me. Mr. Big looked mocking. Although he is now on the verge of elimination, he is no longer qualified to participate in this game. The real core players only belong to Long Fei and Hai. But he hasn't been eliminated yet. Now, these two people who have been eliminated dare to have a sense of presence in front of him. Does this mean you don't regard him as a human being? Although he would not kill someone, it was inevitable to take action to suppress him, so as to eliminate the hatred in his heart. But he didn't notice at all that the two figures had returned in the void at this time. Hai just frowned slightly. He has been unhappy with Mr. Big for a long time. The previous plan is about to reach the final step. Only the Lord of Nirvana can collapse the prehistoric world and let Long Fei witness the death of the people he cares about under Nirvana. This will inevitably induce Long Fei's disaster. Because if the calamity breaks out, the real apocalyptic calamity may come. And in his plan, with his current strength, he was enough to suppress Long Fei. Unfortunately, everything has changed. The variable itself is this big man. You bitch, you ruined my life, and now you dare to humiliate my people. Displeasure flashed into Hai's eyes. Then he waved his hand casually. Boom! The invisible power that blessed Long Batian disappeared directly. Mr. Da was stunned, and immediately guessed that Hai was back. Without any hesitation, he turned around and said, I know you are in a hurry, so please don't be in a hurry. Everyone is in the fourth category, although you have to be stronger. But I think you still have to give me some face. You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.